In this poster, we are interested in communication about teaching and learning issues, specifically the kind of communication that CTL and the university does. And we're going to start from the point of view that we can see communication as a knowledge practice. That is, a practice in which there is, in the communication, a focus on a problem, a topic, or an issue, and a method for approaching or addressing that problem, topic, or issue. And we're going to argue that different instances of communication can place varying levels of emphasis on either problem or method, or both. And that we can trace this amount of emphasis from very weak to very strong, which allows us to plot this as a set of perpendicular axes on a plane. Now, ignoring the axis labels for a moment, but focusing on the fact that the perpendicular axis here traces out the amount of emphasis placed on the topic or issue that the communication is interested in, and the horizontal axis traces out the amount of emphasis on a specific method for approaching that problem or issue, we then find 4 ways in which communication can come to you. It can come to you with a focus on the problem, possibilities, in other words. It doesn't specify how you're going to look at the problem. It's focusing on a problem, typically one that you have identified, a concern from your own context. Or it can come to you with a focus on procedures, on methods, on how you would address a problem, but not stating what problem the set of procedures is specifically addressing. Or it could be an explanation of why you need to use a specific set of procedures or approach to look at a specific problem. Or it can focus on neither problem nor approach and focus on the people in the process. In a bit more detail, in the possibilities approach to communication, we have an allegiance to a problem, not an approach. So this is where the communication coming to you might say, what is your concern about assessment in your specific module? Can we help you look for ways of addressing that specific concern or issue that you have highlighted? Anyway, we're not suggesting a specific way. We're suggesting that we can go and see what the options out there are. Or it can come to you saying, here's a way to solve a problem that we have identified. And an example of this might be the set of criteria for effective assessment in the assessment policy, which is saying, if you want to make sure that your assessment is on standard, that's the topic or the issue, right? This thing. Then here's a way to ensure that it is on standard. Use these criteria. Or we can have an allegiance to an approach, but not in a problem, not a specific problem, and this would be like the procedures for examinations in the yearbook. Here's a set of procedures by which you can ensure whatever you want to ensure. It doesn't matter which module you're assessing, what outcomes you're assessing, what year level you're assessing. As long as you use these procedures, you're going to be okay. Or we can focus on none of that and say, well, let's look at how you have experienced this assessment system. Is it working for you or your students or not? So this is all we're asking you to do. We're asking you to look at the plane in front of you and decide where the communication that you're receiving is. Where would you plot it? Is it about a problem in your context that you've identified? Is it about a problem that someone else has identified and is now telling you how you can approach it? Is it about approaches, procedures, which is meant to look at solve multiple problems? Or is it about none of that and about the people in the process?